Oh, you guys got a whole intro prepared for me or something?
It's Rocky music.
You know, like the little subtitle, like the man, the myth. He's not here, but
and I didn't catch it. It's illness infection, right?
That's yeah. You know, it's ill-ness. I can explain y'all what all that means.
Oh, ill-ness, because
it's not it's not illness like NESS.
Yeah.
Ill and then ness, right? So ill.
Right.
I like that.
And there's like a layers to that whole thing, like everybody's saying.
That's pretty clever. Ill-ness. And then just that's the stage name.
Savage philosophy of information infection, I think, is the best way to encapsulate my the whole thing.
So your goal is to infect the world with knowledge.
Information, yeah, and hopefully with that, like an antibody of sorts, you'll be able to heal and cure yourself from whatever's going on.
Oh,
it's like chicken-pox. It's a chicken-pox effect, you know.
Man, dude, whatever happened to the chicken-pox? Like that is a thing of the past now, or
I don't know if anyone got vaccinated for that.
Yeah, serious.
You do get vaccinated for it.
Really?
When you're a baby now, yeah, and
when you're a baby now, yeah, they added like 38.
When you're an infant now, you get the chickenpox vaccine, and I mean, people rarely get it if they're vaccinated. They don't.
I didn't get the chickenpox, and I was born around the time when it was popular.
I got the chickenpox. I had I have like 2 massive chickenpox scars on the side of my face.
Yeah, I have one right here. People always think I'm born in Mexico.
I have one on my forehead too. Yeah, it's that like tuberculosis patch or whatever the fuck that is, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 13 shots right in one place.
That's gonna be the babies that are born around this time. Like 20 years later, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you got that Moderna, huh?"
These are better. These creatures are better. Look, better creatures.
Ooh, you got the Chihuahua.
I'm totally kidding.
She's ready to podcast. She thinks she's like part of us. So she always
It's cool though.
She's
addicted do that. They tend to want to be the ones that communicate more. Yeah.
She's addicted to Stela. At least somebody is. No, look at that sweet cat.
Everybody's addicted to me. Don't get twisted.
Who is?
Anybody.
She thinks she's got that illness.
All the toxics.
She thinks she got that illness infection.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, but by the way, we're recording. I just started recording.
Yeah. I mean, we're rock and rolling. It's fine.
Yeah, but I guess I'll do the traditional intro. We got ill-ness in the building.
Yeah. What? Oh, yeah.
Where'd it go?
I can hear it, but it's cool. I like it.
Can't hear it. Yeah.
I can tell by the way you're nodding your head.
So,
the metronome.
71.
Oh, there it is.
You can't hear it?
Now
I can hear it now. Now I can't.
I can't.
You can't hear the music?
Very, very light.
Really?
I heard it a little bit and then it cut off.
And yeah, it like went up, down, up, down.
That's what happens when you record over Zoom, over the internet. Just
glitches.
That's what you deal with. It's always
I have
better.
A song called Glitch. But
yeah. There's some glitches going on right now. I think that it's because the internet knows that we're about to get into it with ill-ness right now. We're about to talk about some things that are gonna get
infecting.
It's intercepting what the vibes that are being projected right now. It's like, oh,
do you guys
no.
See this?
What are we looking for? What are we looking for?
Your face?
No, there's like this dark pink patch starting to grow on my forehead right now.
Like in real life?
Yeah, and it itches really bad, and it's because I took ibuprofen and I'm allergic.
Oh, usually it's because cats or because of hair.
I had like a huge headache all day, and I couldn't get rid of it, and so I took ibuprofen, which I'm not supposed to do because now I'm growing like this like patch right here, and it's like swells and it like itches like a motherfucker.
Hey, I don't scratch no more because like sometimes you have dirty hands, so I just like.
No, I'm not even touching it. Like
whenever you're itchy,
fucking suffer.
You ever hit yourself like that, and then you're like, wait a minute,
I'm not touching it because it'll grow, it'll get bigger.
Like the chickenpox.
Doctors cannot figure it out. When I've got, how when you go to the doctor and they're like, what are you allergic to? This, that, and the other. Are you allergic to medications? And I tell them, I'm allergic to ibuprofen, acetaminophen, aspirin, naproxen, all that shit. I can't take any painkillers, right? And they're like, well, what happens when you do? And I'm like, well, I get this bump on my forehead and it gets really big and it starts itching really bad. And they're like, huh. Like, they can't explain
bumps
it.
on the head.
I feel like you're
gonna to take a painkiller and get a bump.
They don't know why the hell that happens.
It has to do with blood vessels. Your allergies, you swell up anything or anything like that? It might be
No, dude, it's just like fucking. They're like, maybe there's a gland there, but like, no, there's maybe because I'm one of those people who has like gnarly forehead vein. Like I'm a dickhead, basically.
Yeah, me too. I got like coming out right this whole thing right here. Yeah. Right here. I can't even laugh in public when I'm really, really, really wanting to laugh.
Got it. Yeah, oh my goodness, you do got the dickhead.
I do. I'm a
I can feel the groove right here of mine.
Yeah, mine's like really gnarly. Yeah.
Yeah, you got the shaft.
You know, maybe it's an unborn twin. It's just like screaming once he or she wants to get out.
I just figured that's why I'm such an asshole. You know,
because
I'm a dickhead. Yeah.
Hey, what's up with the rules on when you guys post about like medicating while we're in the middle of our thing?
Medicate. Do what you gotta do.
Do what you do.
There ain't no rules against that shit.
Medicate away. Yeah.
I was about to wear my hat that had the only thing I regret is that I can't pass it to you. But one day technology will allow us to do this. So tell you that.
One day.
Wouldn't that be something if somebody passed you the joint or the blunt and it just came out the screen?
Oh my God. We'd all be fucking high all the time, I think.
Yeah, the cartel will be making a killing.
Real talk, man. They be pushing major weight over the internet.
Mm-hmm.
They already do. It's called
jar weed.
Oh, you got the jar. What you got? What you
got a little baby blood, little baby.
Ooh, got the little bong.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you gotta quickly, run out the door.
Yeah, I don't really smoke. I used to, back once in a while, but I'm one of those paranoid guys. I get paranoid when I smoke. I'm already like kind of naturally always high. I feel I got like that natural.
Don't give this guy coffee. Don't give this man coffee.
Yeah, hey, you're lucky I don't have a full cup right now. I got that on the side over here.
It's all getting.
Yeah, so you can't really see it.
I
but
can't smoke weed anymore. It like burns the shit out of my throat. Like really.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I got really sick when I was 18, and like I had like bronchitis and some other shit, and like my coughs were so bad that my throat was literally bleeding for like 2 weeks. I was doctor's ordered like not to talk, and ever since then I can't fucking smoke weed. It like fuck, I think I have mad scar tissue there or something, and it just like kills me. It hurts so bad.
That's why I have my friends and then my side friends, because since you guys don't smoke, we don't really kick it as much.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I go to trivia night with you guys and shit.
Trivia night would be good. I do drink beer though, so.
Oh hell yeah! I'm into ciders right now, man. I'm kind of like getting a little old for the too many modelos or the IPAs and shit,
You got a taste of them Corvallis ciders?
Oh hell yeah! All day, 2 towns.
That 2 towns.
That's me, my girl's favorite shit, dude. Like, gotta have those,
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those hard ciders, the apple ciders, the peach ones. I forget all the names of all of them, but yeah. But sometimes they're too sweet for me.
2 Towns has really good ciders.
2 Towns. I was just over there in Corvallis with Freddie.
I know.
Breathing in the good air. It was the first time I had a good shroom trip. I was gonna mention something, James, about you feeling paranoia. So you figure out after a while, like with marijuana, this is one of the reasons why you can't give it to older folk who never really fucked around. Like the gateway drug aspect, I know they demonize it and make it like, you're going to cocaine or heroin next. But what it allows you to do is it alters your body, mind, right? It does all the things that weed does.
Right.
But some people, it's way more potent and they can't do what people now consider regular weed, This stuff, you don't know where it's coming from, who grew it, what emotion was put into it, and all the, those spiritual aspects of plants, You don't know. This plant is super stressed out. It's grown so fast. You give that same, it's like the animals. It's the same thing. You put that in your body, what you would need to do is grow some homegrown at your pad, man. Give it love, water it. I've smoked some homegrown from my homie who, me and him are great vibes. bro, like it felt way better than anything I picked up at a dispensary.
That organic.
All the cannabinoids and all that. There's no like rush,
I mean, that's
flower a
super
plant,
interesting.
sexually stressed out plant,
That's super interesting that you say that, actually, because I really truly believe that, because like even when I eat meat, sometimes later on when I'm sleeping in the night, I get nightmares, and I'm like, damn, that meat that I ate probably was a cow that was going through it before,
the stress. Man, that's a real thing, man. It carries on. Even the way people serve you your food, it carries on.
And weed is super rushed now. It's grown because it's such a huge business, and they do super stress out the plant, and they like constantly trimming at it, and making it grow in certain ways, and
adding things that aren't naturally coming through it by fruit. It's real.
So that's interesting. I never even thought about it like that, because
and then if you know what a marijuana plant is doing, obviously there's the male and the female, right? And then the female, what it's doing is it's hard to attract the pollen of the male. That's why it's the stickier it gets, the harder it's trying, right? So you're essentially smoking a sexually stressed out plant. Like, it sexually isn't like, like humanoids. It's just the word you used to describe. But what it's trying to do is reproduce, right? It's on its mission, trying and it never succeeds. So it's like there's never a calm to the plant. It's always like trying to do, trying. And even when you cut it, it's still trying.
What about when it is successful? Maybe that's the weed that makes people horny, because the plant is like fucking. It's like, yeah, fun fucking. And then you smoke the weed and you get horny. I mean, hey, man, like if we're talking about like the feeling that the plant might feel like before you smoke it, like you're stressed out, I smoke it and I get paranoid. And then if it just got done fucking, and it's like, fuck it, I did what I wanted to do in life.
It's all smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, for real. Like,
that's a weird type of cannibalism.
Like, you're looking at your bud in the jar, you're like, wait a minute, that bud grew hands. That bud is smoking a cig. Oh, damn.
Shit.
Yeah, man. Like, did you watch that new movie Army of the Dead with Dave?
Yes. Every movie, always. I always watch it all the time.
Dude, in the beginning of the movie, he's getting chopped up in the ride, and then he crashes.
Oh my God, what a way to go, huh?
Well, I was thinking like, damn, well, at least he went that way.
There's that's what I said. I'm like, I guess that's the best way he could go out, not her.
Yeah,
that's a shitty way to go out for homegirl, but like,
bro was mentally already in heaven. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was already gone.
He was like, oh my goodness,
he already ascended.
And he crashes into a fucking tank or whatever.
A convoy, a whole ass fucking convoy.
That's a good movie. ZackSnyder, I never really paid attention to directors and producers, and now like I gotten so bored of watching pretty much like. I don't know. I never went to film school, but to me, it's almost common sense the way you categorize movies, and you can almost predict what's gonna happen. So I'm always like, oh wow, like when certain producers or directors get involved, like ZackSnyder, he wrote the screenplay, the story, and it's like, whoa, this is gonna be good. It's not gonna be like your classic tropes, damsel in distress, like this whole big bulky guy. I never seen Batista, David, whatever the actor's name. I never seen him cry like that. I was like, wow, this isn't cheesy. It's pretty good. Like
I thought it was gonna be cheesy at first.
It seemed like it was gonna be cheesy. I was like, oh man.
Remember ZackSnyder? He's on a roll right now, man.
Yeah, no, he is, and you can tell he has like a style. Like from the beginning credits and all that shit. And that's like really the first time where I was like, it actually clicked for me. I was like, oh wait, like he does have like a style. This is his thing. Like, and it wasn't as cheesy as I thought it was going to be. Like, I was like, okay, I watched the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
What's his style, would you say?
It comes off kind of pop art to me.
Right?
That makes sense. The way that it's like edited and like, you know what I mean? Like it came off very like poppy,
comic bookish in a sense.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
makes sense.
You understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah.
There's also like a way that he's really good about conveying information without like talking. Like dialogue and all that isn't necessary to like, because sometimes I see certain movies and they're literally explaining to you like, no, people don't talk like that. They don't move the plot ahead. Like they're like Rick and Morty. They're looking at the camera like, nah. It's like it's very like, I don't know. There's words for it. I wish I've studied film. You know, I know the words.
I like that Latina chick was a fucking badass and went out.
That's what I wanted to bring up. That dumb motherfucker locked her in the thing, and then she bucked out. And I'm like, no. I actually got excited and physically reacted, you know?
When she busted out the side there, I was like, oh, fuck yeah, she's going to make it. And nobody went back to like,
I know, right? Nobody. Oh, man.
That far just to fucking go out like that. I was mad. I was like, how are they going to do my sister like that? Like, the fuck?
This is a crazy spoiler alert for anybody.
I know. I mean, if you haven't watched it, I'm sorry.
Army of the Dead.
Yeah. Well, you know, zombies are eating people. Somebody survives. I don't know.
Somebody's got to survive. You know, somebody's got to continue the human race. That's true.
You know. Luckily, too, well, anyways, they confined it to Vegas, which is pretty cool. I like that. You know, one thing I wanted to see though, and I was hoping to see is when, like, you know how they have those comedic relief moments. I see it in other zombie movies where they're like sniping out celebrities and like they get extra free shit. Yeah. So, oh look, it's Leno. You know what I mean? All the celebrities. It's so funny.
It was cool to see that one guy from Sons of Anarchy. You know who I'm talking about, right? The asshole cop guy.
Yeah, and he plays a really good, like, I want to see this.
He's good at that role. Yeah, he's good at that role. I was glad they threw his ass to the fucking wolves. I was so happy about that shit.
And I knew that tiger was gonna get that white dude too.
Oh yes. I was all really zombie tigers and zombie horses. Like, that was cheesy to me. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? But like, I don't know.
It makes sense, right?
It worked with the film. I think the problem is people come into films expecting something very realistic, and they're not thinking like, oh, like films are art, and like they don't have to be fucking realistic. Like, this is like imagination, creativity. Like,
right. This is something I've been pondering recently, right? The multiverse thing is becoming really popular. It's something I've been into since I was a little youngin'. Comic books, you know, and just like shows like Sliders, Outer Limits, like from when you were like, I was a kid, you know, I was 8, 10 years old, whatever. And I'm noticing now, right, that all the way that they're describing things is not necessarily you have a power, is that you channel it from somewhere else, right? So like we're here from, you know, like there is this physical body and mind, but we're like, you know, you're jacked in, I guess you could say. So you're able to harness from, let's say, another dimension, right? Cyclops' eyes or the witch's powers, right? That's what they're doing a lot right now. So I figure another power would be like the portal of your mind, right? I've heard that there's an infinite universe, right? So anything's possible. There's a universe where this is all the same, except we all have dicks on our foreheads. Right? So when I picture people telling stories and showing movies where to us in our realm is make-believe, but this is a portal to this mind. If it's infinite, that happens somewhere, right? So you start tripping out and thinking like comic books and the way they're telling stories. And I'm like, there's so much history in things that aren't meant to be like factual fiction, particularly with comics and ancient history and like, you know, the deviation of our races and Lemuria and all these things in the past. It's like comic books bring that up. I'm like, damn, this Stan Lee and all these people, Jack Kirby, they were fucking high, right? So they're activating these.
They're definitely high.
They're getting all this information fed to them, and you can't get it down fast enough, you know. So that's why my lore is that it's not so much like, oh, I like superheroes and knives. That was me when I was a kid. Now that you're an adult and you're like, whoa, I get what these guys are doing, especially after you like acid or something.
Right.
You get it now, you know.
Yeah.
That's my little multiverse theory. Like, come up with a story, it happens somewhere, you know.
I think the multiverse is super real though, and I think that even like in many ways, like different dimensions and stuff like that, and sometimes they do cross paths, and I think that is also where ghosts come from, because they're trapped in some kind of dimension, or and they cross paths
or in between, right? Like,
yep. I think that's, you know, one of the dimensions that you know we can't see, but you know it's probably definitely there. And
not probably, it's there.
It's definitely there, and
you just can't see it with your senses. You know, you only have so many tools to access the reality. You know, and it's so interesting how the way you see everything is like, oh well, this didn't just happen by accident. You know, this is just
so many things that we probably have no idea about, right? Like You think like fish when they're in the ocean, they even know about humans? You know what I mean? Like, no, they don't know.
So yeah, we talk about like realms, right? Like, oh, if I were to go another realm, maybe time moves different, or this type of components don't exist, whatever it is, right? So an anglerfish deep into the bottom of the ocean, Himalayan goat, like you swap them instantly. I mean, they both die. It's to me, it's so obvious even right here on this plane that we're in, right here on this planet, like, you could see it. I can't really imagine like the things that they show at Doctor Strange or these movies where you go in and out of these like, it's like, whoa! I don't think we'd be even able to perceive such brightness or such loud sound,
Well, that's why they say that a lot of the shit that we're fed and things like that kind of like hinder our ability to tap into this shit. You know what I mean? Like the whole like conspiracy with fluoride and water and how it like.
I don't think it's a conspiracy.
Right, but fluoride is there. We all know that it is. Like the whole. And
it's okay.
Right.
And aluminum.
Right. But I mean, it is an element from the earth, and I know that it does, have some positive things, but everything, like the key to everything is moderation, right? Not the way that they fucking pump it out to people the way that they do, but like it hinders our ability to really be in touch with those different senses of ours, that we might actually be able to tap into otherwise.
Totally. It's that pineal gland. All those things corrupt the pineal gland. And back in the day, in the ancient times, the pyramid times, they used to actually eat the pineal gland. Yum. When somebody would go, they would make it a ritual.
What was that? I'm gonna Google
it. It was in Egyptian.
The best culture.
Yeah, no, look it up. And they even say like potentially that's what happened with Moses, and why he saw that the sea parted was because he was either on DMT or some kind of hallucinogen, or he ate somebody's pineal gland, and the pineal gland naturally has dimethyltryptamine in it, and that's what potentially was happening, and why he saw the sea split and all that stuff, because he was tripping balls basically.
But talk to a bush
and low tide.
Yeah, what bush was he looking at? Wait, what?
And the seed.
The subtle, and low tide. Oh man, it's hilarious. Oh man, I love the subtle joke to me. Like I like being in public. I'm sorry, I don't mean to stay away from such an important topic, but like I see people doing stuff and I don't mean to be a jerk to say something, but I feel like when I say certain things, a lot of people don't expect that. They themselves start laughing. It's like, you know what I mean? You gotta find the funny and shit. It's hilarious. Like
you do.
Oh man.
You always gotta find comedy in something.
It's so funny.
You can't always take yourself too serious, and people like to be around people who could, keep the mood light, But I think that like stuff like what we're talking about right now, I think that people don't talk about all of this kind of stuff enough, because oftentimes, if you're not talking about the latest trends or the latest thing.
Hold on, the Laker game's on. Hold on. Give me a sec.
See what I'm saying? Like that happens a lot.
You gotta miss me
a lot, right? Like people get like almost like bored with talking about, topics that real deep topics. Yeah. And
I don't do all that, man. I just go to work, smoke, it's all good.
Right. Some people are underthinkers and some people are overthinkers. Some people are right in between. Stela is an underthinker. She's self-proclaimed.
Here's what I am.
Is an underthinker.
No, here I said this. I said that verbatim because he is an overthinker to the point where he creates scenarios, right? That don't exist.
I do that.
And then which elicits emotion out of him.
Yes.
Unnecessarily, right? And me, sometimes. I told him, I said, I don't do that. If anything, I'm an underthinker. Like I'm a very aloof person. I don't think about it until I fucking have to. And then I only think about it while I have to. And then I let it go because that shit will literally fucking hold me down if I hold on to it. You know what I mean? Like it's like a defense mechanism.
Yeah,
I have to
I do the same thing.
Shit when I need it to, or it gets too heavy, or I'll go, yeah, Like
by the time I realize the thing that I'm thinking about, right, I'm already like, ta 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 ta, and now I'm doing life in prison, like in my head, right? Or hey, why is that person so mad about that car? Dun, 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 dun. Now I'm like running down the street because I gotta getting chased by this crazy, like, and then it's just for me to like go over it. It's weird, and then I realize like, oh wait, I'm here doing this right now. Fuck, I need to snap out of it. Yeah, and then you're right about eliciting emotions. That's the worst part. Like, I shouldn't be mad. You know?
Yeah, he creates scenarios because he grew up basically watching soap operas and novellas. So whenever he sees people, he like creates these whole lives and scenarios based on what they look like and what they're doing, and then he, you know. But what I think is the problem is when
I'm
you
oftentimes right, by the way. Sorry.
The what?
He'll like see a stranger and then he'll create this whole scenario of what they're doing and how they got there and where they're going.
They do the same thing. Oh my God.
I mean, I'm not saying I've never wondered what people are, you know, because I oftentimes will be in my car driving and I'll be like, dude, every single person on this road right now has like a whole ass fucking life. Like they might have kids, they might not have kids, they might have a job, like they might be, where are they going? Why? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I've never thought like that. I'm saying the overthinking is a thing, a problem when it comes to like creating scenarios in like your inner circle and the people that you love, and that gets you, it's like having a dream that your significant other cheated on you and then waking up and then being mad at them for your dream. That's where it's like the overthinking is like a
well, you know, dreams is different. It's a little too real sometimes in dreams. It's like you wake up.
I've never woken up mad at someone because of what I dreamed about, though.
That'd be funny.
Have you guys done that?
I've woken up a little bit disgruntled. Yes.
I don't think I have, but I know that my wife does often. She wakes up and she's like, "Who the fuck was that bitch you were with in my dream?" I'm like, "Babe, I didn't do it. Put the knife down, baby." And then she does not. And then I wake up.
His wife is Latina, so he's in trouble.
Yeah, you gotta be careful, man.
Oh yeah. Oh, totally.
You're on a whole other language.
No, but see, like I'm half Mexican, right? So, you know, I have somewhat of a deflection mechanism that I naturally have. So when she busts out the knife, I bust out the chancla.
Survival mechanism.
I hammer it down.
He grew up getting beat by the masa roller.
Yeah, that's what my mom used to give me with. Yeah. In the middle of watching a soap opera. She'd be like, "What the fuck? This is my soap opera." And she clocked me in the side of the head or whatever.
My sister, well, 4 sisters, right? My brother worked with us really during those young years because he's in Mexico. It's hard for him to get across. But 4 sisters. So these are mannerisms. Even right now, I'm crossing my leg and like doing this whole Peggy Bundy thing. Like it's just like the way I stand sometimes. I've been told they're gay. So I get it. You know, I get it. But the women family is like, I could literally be talking to my sister on the phone about something important in my life, and I know everyone's gonna find out. It's my family. Right. But this happens like live at the moment. Update, because my other sister's texting me, "Hey, I heard about." I'm literally still on the phone with my other sister. How do you guys do that? So fast. So it's the talking for me that helped me like rap and stuff. It's like the Spanish version talking about the Mexican thing is like when my sisters are angry, it's like, "¿Pero qué chingados estás haciendo? ¿Por qué estás haciendo esas cosas? ¿Qué es lo que tú no estás entendiendo?" And I'm like, whoa, I'm studying this cadence, and it's like, it's actually interesting how it benefited me in the long run, you know? And that comes with like the novelas, the chisme, the yelling at the neighbors, arguments. Right. Like, you hear it all, man. I know you've heard it, like all the fast talk, like.
Oh, totally, man. And when you grow up on chisme too, man, it really turns you into a gossiper too. I really noticed that. Like I really try not to, but I get called a chismoso a lot. like everybody, like for instance, I'll give you an example. Like my cousin, like he just told me something that, you know, he told me not to tell nobody the other day, and he was like at the end of the conversation, like we talked for like 30 minutes. At the end of the conversation, he says, don't tell your mom, please. And I was like, I'm not going to. He's like, man, I know you always tell your mom. I'm like, I'm not going to tell my mom nothing. And then, you know,
you told your mom?
No, I didn't actually. So look, and then I talked to her today, and I'm like, she's like, what do you want to tell me? And I'm like, nothing, Mom. What are you talking about? She's just like, yes, you want to tell me something. And she always tries to extract information out of me in the form of chisme. She's like, you better tell me right now. And I'm like, Mom, I was like, oh, she's like, I knew there was something. And I'm like, no, I'm not telling you. And then I have to pull the, I gotta get off the phone real quick. And then she goes, you motherfucker, you know? And she gets so mad if I don't tell her, man. She'll try to really get it out of me. And I you know what, it's true though, that is like part of the Spanish, or not Spanish, but Mexican culture growing up, is that like we all know, like we all love chisme, right?
Yeah. And
I mean, I think that's with everybody though. I think everybody loves chisme, you know, everybody. That's why like celebrity gossip is so hot. You know, everybody wants the in on what they feel like everybody doesn't know.
It's a human experience.
It is.
I read tabloid covers like that. Oh, well, I think him now, or like it's like
hearing people's lives, sometimes it makes people feel better about theirs. You know what I mean? Like if you're like, my life is pretty fucked up, but then you hear some shit and you're like, they one-upped me, dude. I'm not doing too bad, you know. Like it's a really funny thing, because it's not like I'm not actively seeking to like feel better about my shit by listening or talking to other people. It sometimes it comes up in conversation and you don't even mean to say some things, and then they get taken out of context, and then next thing you know, it's like telephone with one message started here, and by the time it gets here, it's a whole ass other fucking statement, you know. And that's how people get in trouble. But I think people like to hear it because it makes them feel better about their life.
Definitely one of the biggest reasons, for sure.
So let's talk about how these crazy Mexican women's style of coming at you kind of transcended into this like lyric,
very heavy lyrics.
Style.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I know where you're getting at. It's interesting. Now, at the point that I'm at now, I look back, and when I first got started, and it was very like, I don't know, you can channel anger, frustration, a lack of information, you know, like, I don't know. I always had this like thing about me is talk a lot and like music. Never really connected it. But I look back now, and every little thing kind of helped me along. So one was that, like the cadence of like the fast talk, the tongue movement, you know. Another one was when I used to get sent to the store, I would like recite the order that my mom. So it'd be like frijoles, arroz, un pollo, lechuga, frijoles, arroz, and the whole time. And as I'm collecting the items, I'm taking the item off of the song and then stretching it. And naturally, I would do it in like a 4/4 pattern, right? It's like no, right? There's only so much. It's another one. Other things are like, I don't know, in school, I guess, I did good, but I would get lost in seeking more information as opposed to like what the test said to study, you know? Yeah, that's great. I don't know, I remember that, but I heard in math, this happens, how? And I'm going backwards, you know? And so all of that combined always kind of like, okay, I'm 35 now. Now I figured out my voice. Like, I get it. All the other stuff was just practice, you know?
Right.
How long have you been doing music?
I was like 19, I think.
That's
seriously, 25. So like 10 years, like seriously, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's a real thing. Yeah, I'm trying to like grow it. And, you know, you take in all the elements. One that really kills a lot of creativity is marketing, business, and the whole, you know, image thing. Right. It's important. Sure. I get it. You know, you need to sell yourself, but kind of stifles creativity. So big ups to those whose natural image, you know, improves their talent and their art. That's what it is, art. Like I learned to listen to music and find the holes, treat my voice like an instrument as opposed to like I used to just rap over everything. So you figure it out where you're supposed to talk, where you're not. Just cool little movements and
did you always,
nuances people don't get, you know?
Did you always rap about the things that you rap about now? Like,
yeah.
Because it seems like you talk a lot about like, you know, like, well, not conspiracy, but, you know, like
politics.
struggle.
Like,
I think.
Shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Struggle. I always knew that the ghetto had it figured out. You know, like all the things that we used to say. They put crack here on purpose. Like, what are you talking about? He didn't. Oh, nah, bro. Trust me, aliens have been real. Like nah. You know, like you know, we always knew like all the crazy fringe things are much easier to believe when you find out finally. You know. You
know
start
what?
well, that doesn't seem so far-fetched. I mean, they did do this. They did do that. So it's always been like a way to like help my community inform themselves whether they like my music or not. It actually really got serious when linked up with a few other artists. It's interesting how life takes you, because when I first got started, I'm like, yeah, we're clicking. This is like an amazing thing. We created so much music. But then slowly the whole, like, you know, the band breaks up. Like, I just saw it unfolding in front of my eyes. It's really interesting to watch. Freddie didn't really necessarily, you know, I understood why he had to go, we had to do, but you know, life took him to Oregon.
Right.
My other friend went to Albuquerque. Other friend went to New York. You know, my other friend's trying to be a politician, so he can't really, you know, and the other guy's just a drunk. So, you know, you see all these different energies, and now it was broken apart. But that whole philosophy was like the savage, right? I use that in my lexicon a lot, because it's the way I used to describe people who never heard someone talk like that, you know? Oh, you get down, savage. You know, it's like, it's a word that's rooted in a lot of genocide, you know, Holocaust, and horrible destruction of everything from people and information history, to it was used like the N-word, like all derogatory terms of races,
right,
to describe a person as an animal, subhuman, you know, to different somebody to a less than human status,
right,
savage, you know,
yeah.
salvaje. And so that's the name of our group, Salvajes, because it's like we're reclaiming a word. Now I tell somebody that when they're breakdancing, and it gives energy to better, to positive like reinforcement. Savage MC, savage lyricist. Are you a savage on those boards, or whatever it is?
Yeah.
That went on for a long time. It's like, gotta be a savage, and it just stuck with me. So when I tell people you get down, savage, it's helped me open doors in other situations where I just be another drop in the bucket. What I really enjoyed it is it was just natural, you know. I never really tried to impose things. It's just the way I talk. And it got me to meet a few people. And it was weird. I would always introduce myself as a savage, call them a savage, and say bye-bye like a savage. It's just like, it helped.
You've always called me
identify,
savage.
you know, they identify with that. What was that?
You've always called me savage too.
Yeah. I don't know, just so you know, that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
You know, and I see you get down, you a savage. Like you're no pushover, you charisma, you joke, and you're tough. Like there's this whole, you know, everybody's like that. You know, everybody has their savage side. And yes, sometimes it is, you know, staying up all night fucking around. Other times it's, you know, you got to swing your hands a little bit. But most of the time it's supposed to help build. It's supposed to destroy. You know what I mean? And
I like that you, I liked a lot of things you said, because it's totally true. I've talked about this, you know, when we talked about race relations in, you know, America and throughout the world, and the way that people of color, Black people, Indigenous people are depicted, you know, in art and things like that, was a way to justify the oppression, you know, put on by white people, and to dehumanize, to you know, like the whole like the movie Pocahontas and Disney,
you're coming after your white women,
savages,
hide your white women.
Like it makes them think that it's okay to take and do the horrible things that they fucking do.
Even
but then the other
right.
Then the other piece you said was the ghetto has it figured out.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking true. And when you said that, it like immediately made me think about how like there's all these things that poor people, which are, you know, typically people of color, right? There's things that we do and we've done that like it's just like common sense for us to get by on less, and that white people will come and like there's an infomercial like, oh, this, you could do this, and it's like, we've been fucking doing that forever. You don't need to buy a little thing, like you just need to, like, you know what I mean? I don't have a specific example right this second, but like I was thinking about that and I was like what the fuck, like we do that shit and we don't like market and like make money off of it the way white people, because they probably went to somebody's house who there's a friend or whatever who is less or whatever, and they saw that and they're like, oh, that would be a really cool thing, and then they go and like create this product and like mass produce it, you know, like,
or the lingo, or getting compliments for what otherwise a person of color would get, you know, denigrated for. Yeah,
right.
All the time. I mean, I've gotten by. Having lighter skin helps, you know. It does. It's the truth about things.
I'm one of them.
Yeah, and it's only because, you know, darker creates discomfort, and people don't even realize that they've been indoctrinated into this. So when you challenge them, it's almost like, who are you to tell me that? And it's like they're missing the point, you know. Like the race card thing. Oh, you're throwing the race card. I'm like, look, man, it's there always, every time.
Yeah.
Like, I think certain things about you because you're white. I don't know, bro, but
yeah,
unfortunately, you'll get to live. I might get killed. Like, there's a difference.
Right.
They don't get that, you know. I'm poor too. It's like, I'm not challenging your existence. What we're trying to do is inform you that ours is in peril, you know.
Yeah.
Like, what's gonna happen once, you know, the fire in our house spreads to yours,
right?
You know. Right. You know, it's funny. That's why they started the fire department had to be a public federal thing, because what happens is if you catch the poorhouse catches on fire, like eventually you can't just put out the rich people's houses,
right?
Everybody's house,
right?
And that's where it's at. Like, people don't realize that, you know, in this, one of the rare cases is negative. You being a savage, you know, you're seeking the death of others. That's why it's always okay to punch a Nazi, you know what I mean?
Right.
Your philosophy is my death. Like, no, we don't do that here, you know?
It's cool to hear all that, because like I met you through Freddie, and I knew he was doing his, you know, hip hop thing, his, you know, thing. And then when you guys came up, and I think the night I met you, we were trying to find somewhere downtown Eugene for you guys to perform.
Yeah, I remember.
Like, going from club to club.
I remember,
like,
dude.
Who's gonna let them perform, like, just on the spot? And we got you guys. Like, we got you guys at this bar called Cowfish, and like you guys actually got to perform like a thing, and it was dope. It was cool to
bar hop, looking for a place to perform some hip hop.
Right. It was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's another way to do the same thing but better, you know.
Yeah. And at that time, you know, it was you and Freddie and E-Rock.
Yeah, E-Rock, I think.
E-Rock, he's fucking sick with the beats, dude. His fucking shit was like genius. Like, his shit was so good.
Yeah.
So good.
He has a great ear. This is great ear. Just
fucking incredibly talented.
Yeah. And there's a few of them in the latest project I'm putting out. A few of his beats are on there. He definitely has a way of bringing out different aspects of a lyricist. It's pretty cool. Passion. You feel it's like, and it's old school too, like cultura, you know, because he samples old records of merengue, and, you know, all that stuff.
Fucking blows my mind. You need to hear this fucking producer Jimmy. Like, his shit is fucking
I'm ready.
Insane.
I can send you a few of the links.
Yes, please, because I was fucking, my mind was blown, bro. Like, that night when I heard him first in the apartment, I was like, holy shit. Like, how are you guys like not like, you know what I mean?
Seriously,
like,
I forgot he went over there. Wow.
Yeah, it was it was you four and me. It was you four guys and me. I've always been like one of the guys, I swear to God.
Well, we've already determined you are a guy.
Mike, yeah.
But your dick is on your forehead, so.
My dick is right here.
It's all on the forehead.
Yeah. And then the other time I saw you guys up there was at that random house in Corvallis, where Despite the Whiteness.
Oh yeah.
Had their whole. So it's like Despite the Whiteness is this like actual like brass band. Like they play actual instruments, and then like Freddie and you and Mike were like doing a hip hop like shit to their music.
Yeah.
Like, it's a pretty like interesting combination. I think Freddie still does it, right?
There's so many like different. I love it when things are like or like an opposite ends in a sense, you know, and polarizing things work together very well sometimes. And
it did. It was really fun. It was
you have Despite the Whiteness thing. And I was like, we're the brown box. We're like,
Yeah.
Like the brown thoughts, you know, because our mind is of color, right?
Yeah.
But we did a song that day. I was just listening to the recording the other day. They're called "It Hurts," right? And
I loved that one.
yeah, so
I remember that.
I try to tell the story on the mic, but you can only do so much. You're trying to set people up for the song, right? But we got there, we went on a hike, and I'm running around nature, you know, I'm already high energy.
Yeah.
I went to grab this branch and I pulled it really hard. Oh, that's cool. I swung off of it, it snaps, right?
Oh, shit.
So I plummet like 30 feet, hit a bunch of rocks, and I land almost like I'm sitting on a throne, all beat up, like, right? And I hear voices. I bumped my head a few times, but I knew it was okay. But I look over, and if I would have stood up to the right, I would just fell over all the way down. Like where? But I was like, nope, can't go there. And I got up. It hurt, right? It hurts. So on the way up and going back, we're rushing to get to the venue where we started figuring out that song. But we did it off the Anderson .Paak, like you back up on my liquor, come on. That little song.
Yeah.
And we wrote the hook on the way to the car. I mean, it was a lot of what I was doing because that's what I was going through. Yeah. And it hurts because we were in the mood. I'm a feel it in the morning, but tonight we're feeling good. That was the line, right?
Yeah, I remember.
I'm performing it and I'm feeling aches going away, almost like it was like a therapeutic thing for me to rock the song as I was hurting. It was so much fun.
It was dope. I think I was like using your phone or something. I had your guys' on your guys' fucking thing. I was like holding that for you. Somebody else had like the chick that came with you guys had like your camera and she was like, you know, photography, videography. Yeah,
I remember
and like
that.
I was doing your guys' live for your
that a big old little living room right there, man. Wow.
Yeah, it was huge. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed the time over there. That whole DTW Salvajes little combo was dope. I brought him over to Santa Ana, actually. Gave him a little money to come over here, and we're at my studio that I had in downtown. I have a different one now, but we all slept there. It was freaking awesome, right? And we performed at Esports. It's just a huge venue that just opened up a few years ago by that time, and it was a hip hop event. So we got to rock, and the band, everything was great. They played our beats. They did them so fast. I just showed them the song, and they're so good at music.
They're really talented.
Yeah. So we were performing, and then there was a hip hop like a seminar meeting thing between the workshops in the morning and the performances at night, right? And Krs-One was there and a few other notable MCs. Come to find, my friend who's not a city council member, he's one of the organizers. Krs, like he's talking about what the main thing you can do as someone who is hip hop or is aspiring to be a hip hop scholar is to create. Like that's what you have to do, create your art. You might think it's this or that, create it and you'll never regret it because you'll always have it, right? And he goes like, right now, where's your studio right now? And my friend goes, hey, there's literally I'm right around the corner, same block, 4 buildings away. Krs-One ends up upstairs. My friend runs up first and he goes, I literally just got out the shower too because I had a shower there. No shirt, barely a towel. He goes, hey man, Krs-One's coming right now. And he always messes with me. I'm like, oh, shut up. And all you hear is these big old footsteps. He's tall. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, crap. All right. Immediately go set up the studio. The whole place is packed. I was like, whoa. And they got to meet him. It was great. It was like a great experience. So, hip hop, showed him around the ghetto a little bit. It was cool having him out here. Showing up 2 towns is out here too. Yeah. So they had fun. I enjoyed that experience. Very memorable. You know, things that will stick with you for a long time.
That sounds like a song about cool experience.
So what?
Jimmy does music.
I don't do music.
Oh, he used to. Jimmy used to do music.
Yeah.
What was your forte?
My forte, I enjoyed making music kind of catered to the ladies, to the lady audience. Yeah.
So vocals, instruments, what you rocking with?
Say that again.
I say like vocals, instruments, like what are you rocking with?
Yeah, it was mainly vocals. Like I pretty much just wrote a lot of songs and recorded them all. I didn't play no instruments or nothing like that. So just kind of put together some projects and put out some records and stuff like that. And yeah, man, it was fun. I enjoyed it. But I think what kind of drove me away from doing it was what you said, like the whole like the business side of it and marketing and everything and shit will drain you.
It sucks.
yeah, it takes away the fun away from it, and it sucks away the fun from it. So it did that for me, and I don't know. I stopped doing it. I just never really wanted to do it again. And you know, I did it for so long. I did it from like middle school all the way until I was like, I don't know, probably like 27 maybe.
Nice.
And I just don't do it no more, man.
I got a few records where I'm like leaning into more. I mean, obviously I'm savage, right? Like, but now there's a lot of songs that I'm figuring different things out. It's not necessarily all like that. I'll send them to you. See what you think. Maybe you have some advice. Maybe you can help me write a little bit, or even sing some vocals on it. You know, whatever.
Yeah, man.
I like messing around with different things and aspects of different people. I need different perspectives. I can't get around the same artist all the time. You know.
Like I think my thing too is like when I do a project, not just a music project, but any project, and I get into it, like I really get into it. And so like for me now, you know, I'm really into the podcast, and I think Stela got a, you know, she saw how I get when I really get into it, like not too long ago, recently. And she knows I get a little crazy when I get into it. And that's how I am, like even with music. So like I'll just get obsessive, and just that's all I want to do, and that's all I care about. And that's, you know, I don't want to do that no more.
I got you.
Yeah. Like, cause I don't know, like the podcast, it works out for me. Like with my life now, you know, I'm a family man, you know, married.
There you go.
All of that. And music, I just want to just indulge. I just want to dive into the lifestyle, and like I'll do anything that I feel like will benefit me in that aspect, in like the music aspect, or in the career. Like anything that I feel like creatively will spark like some lyrics, or, you know, spark the next move that I'm gonna do. Like I will explore, and I'll try to, you know, figure out what will give me the influence in that kind of way. So, you know, I'm just not on that hype no more. I'm, you know, more so about the podcast now. And
hey, you guys are getting a big following, man. It's starting to build quick.
Yeah, man.
Watch when I share it to my 30,000 non-existing friends. I'm gonna blow up. Rogan's gonna be hitting you all up. Hey, why you see my background?
You know what? That's one part I like about the podcast and doing a podcast is that so like when you do music, right? I mean, I don't know like how you feel when you do music, but for me, like I'll make a song and I feel like it's the best thing ever, and I expect everybody else to feel the same way. And if they don't, that shit fucking pierces my soul. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't like that part about it. Like, I mean, I know that's supposed to be like just how it is, but like with podcasting, I don't give a shit who likes it and who doesn't. I don't care if anybody listens or if everybody's listening. I don't give a shit. And I think that's one of the reasons why I prefer this kind of art now, is because I just don't give a shit. And I like that. I like not giving a shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. It's so much of and it's a healthy not give a shit. It's not ignoring crucial things, right? It's the long form. It's like you get to see people formulating their words and their subtle new movements and what they're doing and how they're talking, as opposed to like, yeah, what I really is because, and then she's cool. You know, like it's so edited. It's so like just to show the good light. Nah, I want to see like the cannabis plant. I don't want just the oil, man. I want the whole freaking plant. Yeah, I want the whole person. At least what I can get from, you know, this little
right,
the audio and visual, but all the editing and all that. Those interviews, you'll miss me with that. I enjoy this a lot more. It allows me to get to know people, and you even find things out about yourself as you're talking.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Ask you these questions, you know, and you get the opportunity to talk about it. I've even discovered like, oh, I've never said that about myself. Oh, I should write that down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Included.
You're processing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and with different people from different walks and different experiences, and then interacting with them, and then the way that they, you know, the way that their mind works, and it opens your eyes to whole other perspectives or whole other like ways of thinking that you hadn't even like considered maybe prior, and it does bring out a different part of you that you didn't even know was, you know. And that's what I love about podcasting. I love conversation. I think there's so much there's so much in it for everyone. Like people who lack mentorship, you know, I think they should listen to podcasts, like find a good podcast and listen to that, you know, or people who don't like to talk to people about shit but are going through something, like listen to podcasts. There's a podcast for that, you know, like or like you learn from people's experiences as well as your own. And like I think having other people's experiences, you know, even a knowledge of it, sometimes when you encounter that fork, it helps you make more informed decisions because you heard it or you heard someone talk about it and they did this way, so maybe you're going to try it this other way. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of power in words and conversations, and that's what I love
do
about
what
it.
I did, you know what I mean? You know, okay, well, you make the mistake for a lot of us. I don't have to do that one.
Right.
You know, you learn a lot. You learn a lot. Otherwise, I never thought about it that way. Like, you know, if you're going some like you have some, you know, leadership or parental or guardian, like you don't have many people teaching you things, you know.
Right. Lack of supervision, lack of mentorship. Yeah.
You know,
for sure.
it can definitely help you escape that lonely lack of knowledge and information. It's interesting.
Yeah. You can find it in a podcast somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know what people are gonna learn from the Side Friend Chronicles, but
I feel like a lot of people learn shit from us.
I think they might learn some things. I
saw chronic in your name and I thought there was weed involved. I thought you send me a bag of weed or something. I'm supposed to open it.
All right. Who knows, man? Maybe one day Side Friend Chronic, not Chronicle, Side Friend Chronic. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. We'll start pushing dime
Someone's
bags.
Gonna name it. Yeah. I was gonna say I've had men say that they learn from listening to the podcast because they're getting like a real female perspective on some shit. Because you know how we always talk about relationship stuff and like female biology and physiology and these things. It's like we're not crazy. It's like it's our fucking ovaries. You know what I mean? Like they're the ones causing the problems here. It's like this is just the way it is.
All right. So
organs cause a lot of problems.
So Ness, let me just tell you something.
Hormones are a bitch.
Ness, remember how you said like sometimes when you're talking you might discover something? I think that she just discovered that it's her ovaries making her flip out sometimes. So
I didn't just discover that. Like I've known that shit. That shit sometimes it puts me in like a whole ass depression. Like I get like some like PMS like depression sometimes. It's pretty crazy.
Women are fucking nuts, bro.
It's not our fault.
I grew up with 4 of them. You're telling me.
And they're Mexican.
Too old or too younger.
Ooh.
See, I think guys who grew up with like sisters, they're like always like, you know, better around women because
I think so too. I think men who don't have sisters are like fucking just completely dumb to like
sloppy jalopies in the world.
So stupid. Like yeah, exactly. They're like just so fucking like ignorant to all things like
that club over the head, drag her to your house mentality.
Right. It's fucking, it blows my mind.
That's an aspect of being like, you know, tough, prominent, like, you know, you stand out is part of it. It's a nuance, but it's not the whole, like, you're not, it's not going to win someone over. I don't know.
Right.
I'm crazy. It's pretty interesting. Relationships are so complicated.
They are.
Especially when I start rapping, it gets really weird.
In which way? Because I could probably
no. Like just overtly just start rapping in their face. It's you run into things having conversations with people. Some people don't want to talk about like they don't want to talk about those complicated issues, right? And when you're getting to know somebody, right, like it's tough to talk about like racism or you know what I mean, like if they're in those realms. Now I guess it's a little more acceptable side conversation, like we talk about things that are woke, right? There's a time where people don't open up like that. Like you don't want people to know your stance on things, or you don't want people to know like the activism you've done, quite yet. Like you don't know how people are gonna feel about things.
You don't know if it's a deal breaker or not. But I think that's why you should say it, especially in the beginning, because it saves you time and heartache if they know who you are and where you stand from the get-go. It's not gonna be a fucking surprise a couple months or a couple years down the road. You know what I mean?
Sense.
I think that's where people fuck up. I think because when you get into a relationship, everybody puts on their game face, right? You put your best self forward, or you're trying to like, you know, win this person kind of over, which is like the dumbest shit you could do, because then once you actually show your real ass, then they're like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like
everything comes
everybody is like, you're not being your authentic self. So they're not actually falling for you. And then now everything's complicated, you know, like I think that's where people fuck up. They just need to be who they are from the gate. And if that person doesn't like them, that's okay, because that's not going to work out long term.
Preach.
They don't, you know?
Yeah. And even not just in relationships that are intended for like a romantic connection, right?
Friendships
like,
as well.
With friendships and stuff. Like I noticed, like I push people's buttons the wrong way, but I'm not intending this is who I am, right? Yeah. And I have people tell me, hey, así no me llevo, you know, está haciendo estas cosas. Like some Spanish dude was telling me that, you know, I don't really get along like that. Like, you know, like, you're just joking around too much. Oh, my bad. Thanks for telling me. I didn't take it as an insult. I didn't help me realize something about my stuff. Like,
right.
Like, you know, stop.
You have to be open to some feedback.
Yeah, I have to be. But this person told me, and as an adult, it's all good. Cool, move on. But now I see him don't want to get involved in certain jokes because, oh, well, you know, si estás pierdes, that means if you're the one who gets upset, you're gonna lose, bro. Like no one's talking about your mom or some vulgar shit. It's just jokes. You know? We're not even making fun of you. We're making fun of the idea. Yeah.
Right.
And so that's an example. Also bringing up certain topics, you know, or strong opinions. When I hear, hey, the gun laws are changing. Oh, what is it? Only better than a guy with the gun is a good guy with the gun. Or hey, some more guns. Like you guys are crazy. Oh, well, what do you think? Second Amendment. I'm like, yeah, cool. Second Amendment. Fight whoever wants to kill you. But come on, guys. Common sense. People don't like those, like aspects. They want to like. People are really right now, currently even more than ever, diving into these polarizing ideals that are. It's
very polarized.
It's like, wait, you don't like me because what I believe about what two guys arguing about abortion in a sense, like, right? You're mad at me because what you think I think. Neither of us have like a wife,
a uterus.
Like why don't you like me? What? Yeah, it just makes no sense. And there's so many examples of that right now. Like the mask issue is like, oh my God, yes, the government is trying to control us. The ghetto has known this for a long time, but a mask is not your issue, bro. Like just all the other stuff. The mask is just the topic to distract you from the other stuff. Get over the mask, put the cloth, walk around your life, you'll be fine. I'm not trying to take over your mouth.
Right.
You know, like, right. It becomes all, and then I find myself discussing this with people who both sides don't like me because of it. Right. I'm just like, okay, I don't want to talk about this, especially at work colleagues or like small talk with people that you've known, but you've always had small talk. You know,
it's politics and religion. Those are never good things to talk about at like in social settings, because someone's gonna get heated. Someone's gonna get heated.
And take it way too far.
You cannot avoid a disagreement, and you don't know how people react when they are in disagreement with you. Some people go fucking off the handle. Some people are like, all right, I agree to disagree. But like those are two topics you just cannot avoid some kind of an argument and disagreement.
I get really upset when I get upset when I notice this, and even more when it's so obvious that person is no longer discussing something with you to come to an information,
an understanding.
Right? You can see the discomfort is what they're worried about now. So the perfect example is a ghetto motherfucker talking all this shit, right? And he's wrong, and you tell him he's wrong, but then he doesn't say anything else until you call him a bitch. And now that you called him a bitch, it becomes this whole thing about his manhood. Has nothing to do with this initial thing, right? And I see that a lot. People react, and now they're more upset about how they're being spoken to. And it's like, whoa, come on, guys. Like, you have to be able to process discomfort. Your emotional fitness has to really help you here. Like, and even if the person is being vulgar to you, calm down. Don't, disrespect is only in your eye. Like, don't worry about it. You know? Right. Like, people in conversations, I seen it from the streets to the nonprofit circles to like how this is everywhere, you know?
Right.
And some you end up with fights, others is like you're blocked. Like
right.
I block you. Like what? You're canceled.
People are wild.
Stop it.
Canceled.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to just not be pansies.
What?
That's what it comes down. I said everybody just needs to not be pansies. That's what it comes down to.
Well, there you go, referring to a feminine thing as something negative. How dare you?
No,
Man.
we actually switched that a long time ago. If where people say you're being a pussy, we say you're being a dick. And if we think you're being a dick, you're actually being a pussy, because pussies are stronger than dicks. Pussies can handle more. We actually switched that a long time ago. We had a whole conversation about it.
That is a good one.
But see, being a dick also is like arrogant, asshole, like ignorant at times, like brute-headed, like so being a dick, man, you know? Like shit. Why is
yeah.
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 Yeah, no, and that's kind of like what I'm leaning on right now. I mentioned the shroom trip that I recently had. That was a good one because we were, you know, out in the woods. I guess the air helped. Freddie's good vibes, you know. And I went up to the mountain, and I've never seen the stars that bright, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
I don't remember the name of the mountain.
Where'd you guys go? Mary's Peak?
I think so. Mary's Peak. Yeah, I think so. And right when the stars, I feel like that's when the shrooms kicked in, and I looked up. You know, classic like wow moment. And then I looked around and I saw how dark it was. I'm like, get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you guys better be careful. There's cougars out there.
Yeah. No, but it was a light one, and it was a good experience. And then I realized, okay, you know, I can't just take them and then try to do stuff like, that was part of my journey to figure out, because before it was that experience. But that's helping me translate all this information into like what I mentioned earlier about emotional fitness, like spiritual fitness, like what things do you get involved in? What things do you argue for? Like what you put in your body, all that good health stuff. And I'm starting to now be more like, I mentioned it in my raps, you know, but it's ghetto language.
I was just gonna ask.
So people can access it, you know. It's subtle pokes at some like esoteric shit, you know.
Right.
That's what I try to do now.
I like that you do that. I like that you think that you're conscious about like making sure that your music has a message and it's for people who are oftentimes, you know, denied information intentionally.
That is good.
You know,
that's really good.
That's the ill part. So there's the ill, right, and then the ness, right, and then the ill part is like, even the way I write it. I'm gonna have to show you. I have it right here on my arm. The way I write it, right? This guy tattooed it on me. I don't know if you can see it. Right here.
Oh yeah.
Can you guys see it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. The ILL is jagged, very like poignant. The NES is very round and fluid, right? So I should be a marketing motherfucker, but like is the information, the shit that's coming at you, it's fact. I don't care about your feelings, nothing of that matters. What matters is what you have in front of you and how you interpret it. The ness is like the culture, the backing of everything that isn't me, in a sense, you know. The ness sure was a name given to me, and then go far back enough, it's colonized, all that, right? So the ill and the ness, and then it's like an infection, right? How to infect. So I always thought about it that way. Like the first part of me is like trying to find a clear way to convey this barrage of information. You know, trying to like keep putting it small so it can be understood. And the NES is like, yeah, let's smoke some weed, orale güey, pasa esa madre, todo el pedo, and all that, you know? And I like it when it combined, it's Diana.
I like it.
Very sweet. Well, shoot, man, where could people find you at?
Well, I mean, you look up right now, I just released a single. I've been trying to like not rebrand, but I never really put out a bunch of projects on my own, even though I did all the work in the other ones. Like the you know, a lot of the business aspects of it, punching in the numbers, it's so much. It was Salvajes for a long time, so you can look that up. It's just Savage Nation, be cool. But now it was the whole illness infection aspect. I just released a song called Deja Vu, and interesting quick little note about that, it was that like you know, the song is about how and why we get killed by police, right? And it highlights a lot of Black folks that this has happened to. But there's information, first two verses, and then all the names. And then again, third, fourth verse short verses, information, and then all of these names. And it bothered me because I was, the business part of me was like marketing, like when do I release it? When is the best time? Started figuring out that fortunately we live in an environment where it always will be relevant. Like no matter when I drop this on, it's always going to be there, unless there's some crazy stuff that we can't predict coming up in the next phase in our life with these police. Like it's just all the time. So I call it deja vu. It's happening again. Happening again. Since 1492 is the whole philosophy. Yeah. So happening again. And y'all check it out. It's on everywhere. Just deja vu, ill-ness. You'll see what I'm talking about.
And your Instagram handle.
People are liking it.
Good, nice. I'm happy.
A lot of information, and then that'll be paired with the release of the album in July. Call it Straight Out of Quarantine, right? I think right now I've always been lucky enough to somehow be able to come up with these phrases and things like savage and illness that are needed at the time, And right now everybody has that mentality, like they're straight out of quarantine, like the whole like we're locked up, we got to get out. It's time to reconnect with the world in a sense, safely. But that's the whole point, illness is out of quarantine, and all the songs are basically some of the stuff that I put together while I was in quarantine.
So is it like on Apple?
It's about to be on everything. You could just Google it and it'll come up.
And then what's your Instagram handle so people
illness
can find
infection,
you?
1S.
Illness with 1S infection at Instagram. So they can find you, find all your links,
everything.
Follow you, listen to the message.
Getting some good reactions. I'm like, whoa.
Good.
We'll drop all the links in the
we'll put them in the description of the video.
Yeah, put them all up in there. Definitely appreciate you guys.
Well,
Thank you for appreciate
you stopping by to slide through.
Yeah, slid through.
Can you guys hear the music this time?
Now, right now I can. Nope, now I can't. No, I can't.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to episode 71, Side Friend Chronicles. We out.
Side Friend Slide.